our webinar today, and it's all about e-commerce. It's all about B2B. We are talking about. I think one of the big trends we see everywhere in the world, but in Asia specifically too, is that more and more companies want to sell online that maybe didn't even think about it 5 or 6 years ago. And this is what we want to show you today, how easy this actually can be with the fully integrated solutions of Acumatica and BigCommerce together as the e-commerce front end. So let me go through the agenda. So we will do a first short introduction of the two solutions we are talking about today. We will then give you an overview about BigCommerce and how it works and how it can help you. We then developed a real life case as a product demo. So the full flow from creating products, items in Acumatica, syncing it to BigCommerce, entering orders, syncing these orders back, and managing them back in Acumatica again. So as a full story that you will see. And then, as you see, we will have some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask us from Acumatica or BigCommerce, please feel free to put them in the QA box, please, on your screen. And we will try to answer all the questions at the end of the session. Well, like I said, we still reserve some time for it. So short about the presenters today. So I myself, my name is Thorsten. I'm responsible for the Acumatica business, reseller business here in Asia, and I'm based in Thailand. I have Shine with me, who is our regional partner account manager based in Malaysia and responsible for Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, and working with our local resellers in these countries. And we have Alec joining. Thank you very much, from BigCommerce, who is Business Development Director, and he is based in the US. So a very special thank you for joining us today at a little bit odd time for you out there, I assume. So with this, let's just directly jump in. And with this, I'm handing over to Shine. And maybe you want to go ahead.
Right. Oops, my screen is frozen for some reason.
I see you move your mouse on my screen.
Yeah, but I have a big black patch now sitting on top of the deck. Oh yeah, it's gone now. All right, great. Thanks a lot, Thorsten, for the introduction. Sorry, it just keeps showing. Thorsten, can you do one thing? Can you move the slide for me? I think I'm not able to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, can you go back to the.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Great. It's perfect now. Again, good morning, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us today for this really great webinar session that we have here with our partner, which is BigCommerce. We have been working with BigCommerce for a couple of years now, very successfully globally. And definitely we want to bring the same solution product portfolio to Asia as well. And this is the reason for this webinar today. Thorsten, if you can move to the next slide, that'd be great. Thanks. Thorsten, yeah, perfect. So Thorsten gave a little bit of a brief background about this, why it's important to think about e-commerce. Traditionally, a lot of people think about e-commerce when it comes to normal retail. So you have an online shop to sell your product to your end consumer. That's always the mindset. But that's not true, because B2C is not the only thing when it comes to e-commerce. B2B is a very significant industry globally. As you can see on the slide that I'm showing right now, according to estimates, the B2B e-commerce market size was valued nearly 7.9 trillion in 2022. And this is projected to grow more than 20% across the next 7 to 10 years. From this alone, Asia Pacific contributed around 70% of revenue share last year. And as definitely going to grow steadily as compared to other regions over this period of time. This is quite significant to understand because not a lot of industries do not think too much about B2B e-commerce. And a lot of companies are very traditional. They always think about having their business, which is they might have a back-end solution. It's a very traditional approach. They have salespeople, they have ready contracts with their business partners, and then it's pretty much always email, phone calls, and maybe even sending a PDF document for orders to be placed. And everything is done manually in the system to raise the orders. And then it's tracked in the back end as well. But with this solution that we are proposing here, it's all about making it automated. Thorsten, if you can show the next slide. So I'll start off with Acumatica. For those on the call who has joined in today who do not know about Acumatica, we are a global ERP, a cloud-based ERP, and our foundation has always been about how to help businesses to be resilient in any economy. And why do we have that? Because we have solutions that are catered for almost all industries out there. And our solution is more catered towards having a connected business. Like you have a business which is doing distribution, but you might have a sister company that is doing manufacturing. You need to have everything connected. This is where we are bringing in as well. Rapid integration is very crucial for an ERP because as an ERP, it needs to be in line with any other third-party products that you have in your business that you're running right now. How can it work together? And this is where integrations is very, very important. Collaboration remotely. We have seen this during the pandemic in the last few years where when COVID hit and people are working from home, collaborating remotely is very crucial. And this is where Acumatica is very, very strong in. Resiliency, again, back to the pandemic. A lot of companies who face issues during the economic crisis, how can you be resilient during this period of time? And many companies that are using Acumatica have benefited from this, from using Acumatica to run their business remotely, to run a connected business as well, and they have no issues. And in terms of business, they have always grown as well. And lastly, having a solution is good, but having it ready for the future is more important as well. Acumatica is running on a framework and a technology which is future-proof. That means when you use Acumatica, you're growing with Acumatica as well. So our growth is tied to your business, which means anytime you upgrade the Acumatica as a version, new features and functionalities that are released every year, 2 times a year, in fact, you're benefiting from it. And this future-proof is very important when you make an investment like in a solution like Acumatica itself. Thorsten, if you can move to the next slide. Thank you. So it's not just us, I'm talking about it, or not just Acumatica. We are an acknowledged world leader when it comes to ERP. We have been always put analysts have always put us in the top rank in many of the quadrants. So software reviews, IDC, Nucleus Research. In fact, there was a recent release from Nucleus Research. We are in the leader quadrant as compared to the other ERP out there. And also lastly, we have G2 Crowd. G2 Crowd is a really amazing platform or forum where not analysts are putting in their feedback, but also the end customers and public as well. So it's not us telling them, it's just that anyone logging into G2 Crowd can actually give their feedback. And this, we have been ranked quite highly for G2 Crowd. The many of the factors that they look at is always when it comes to usability, flexibility, functionality as well. Usability is very important because as a company, when you have end users or your staff using a solution to run your business, you don't want them to be unhappy using the solution. And for us, Acumatica, we have always been ranked very highly in usability and flexibility. And many of our customers, I think almost all our customers are happy using Acumatica for their daily tasks and their daily operations as well. Thorsten, to the next slide. Right. I mentioned earlier about integrations. And it's very important to know this because it's not like a traditional ERP where things run in silos anymore. We need to work in collaboration with third-party solutions because as an organization, you are not limited to use only one product to run your business. Like if you're a retailer, you might have to use a point of sale. You need to use an e-commerce platform. As a solution that runs on shipping or logistics, you need to be working with shipping engines, or for example, FedEx or UPS. So Acumatica is very, very flexible in this. And we already have native embedded integrations with a lot of third-party solutions. As you can see here on the screen, we are going to talk about BigCommerce anyway. So, but in addition to that, we have with Microsoft Exchange, with Office 365. We also have a Proco, which is for construction industry. So many more. But this is just a small snapshot of the integrations that are there, but there's much more than this. The reason behind it is that we want customers to be scalable and we need to understand more how it works. And it's not just about the integrations, but also about the functionality in Acumatica. So we have best-in-class functionality and technology as well. As soon as you can move to the next one. And long ago, what we have done is we decided that not all customers are the same. You have different business industries. You have the different ways of processes that you run your operations. Having a generic ERP does not help anyone. And when Acumatica decided to go on this path, we decided that we need to go very, very in depth into each industry. And this is why we have 4 main business industry editions: manufacturing edition, construction, distribution, retail, commerce. The reason why I'm showing you this is because earlier I mentioned, like, it's a very big, it's a misnomer when you think that only retail companies can use e-commerce platform, but there are a lot of manufacturing companies who need to be on B2B commerce platform as well, where you manufacture your goods, but you need to sell it. The traditional sales, like I said, is not there anymore. Having the avenue of doing it online on e-commerce platform, it expands your business operations and expands your efficiency as well, and obviously increases your business revenue as well. Construction edition. There are a lot of companies out there who do construction and also sell construction related materials. And this is something that you should always think about, that how can I expand my operations? How can I expand to sell more online? Distribution edition definitely is traditional. So when you have a trading company, yes, you do sell normally as like how you would do right now. Having an e-commerce platform like BigCommerce actually allows you to do much more than this. That's it. So from my side, that's what I'm going to give a little bit brief about Acumatica, and I will pass it on to our partner here, BigCommerce. But before I go that, so globally we have around 10,000 customers. A lot of them are actually using BigCommerce already for their business, and a lot of them are even, in fact, considering right now to use BigCommerce for their B2B business as well. All right, over to you, Alan.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let me just get my screen shared here. All right. Can we all see this?
Yes, we can see. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great. All right. BigCommerce. Similar to Acumatica, we're also a very flexible platform, and we love to work with partners. So really excited to be here in this webinar talking about how BigCommerce and Acumatica work together. Before we get into the demos, which is likely the most fun part for everyone here to see the products in action, I'll give you just a little bit of background on BigCommerce as an organization. So we are a global company. We actually started in Australia about 8-9 years ago. And today we're over 1,300 employees. We've got thousands of agency and technology partners, and our merchants represent quite a bit in sales on an annual basis. And we're in 150 plus countries. So as a platform, we are software as a service. So you can go install BigCommerce, you can get a free trial and up and running within hours or days, or you could be an established business leveraging, of course, our technology and our platform to really grow your business. So we have customers all from SMB all the way into large enterprise. So we too have also been recognized by a lot of the major research firms such as Gartner and Forrester, not only as a leader in B2C, kind of where we started as a B2C platform, but now in B2B. And I'm very excited to show you even some of the more advanced B2B functionality today that we have capable with our B2B edition, especially when integrated with Acumatica. Freedom of choice is very important to us. So of course, today we're here with Acumatica. You can see a snapshot of other partners here that we work with. And on the next slide, this will even expand out. But really for us, it's very important that our merchants have ultimate flexibility, not only in which developers they use to build their website and democratize coding languages, but also from the technology ecosystem perspective and working with our open APIs. So here from a payments perspective, BNZ is definitely one that we see a lot locally in Australia and New Zealand. But we work with a lot of the global payment companies that you would imagine. And of course, Acumatica has local payment partners that we can also integrate with using our payment SDK and APIs. Same thing with shipping and tax. While you see these shipping and tax partners here, we have the ability to insert, localized shipping partners or tax partners. So we have a completely open checkout, and we have many different pre-built integrations so that you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel when it comes to setting up things like marketing automation or an advanced search, etc. We work in many different industry categories. Here's a snapshot just to show you really the logo page here and some of the types of brands that we work with and those particular categories. Today, we're just going to be talking about sort of the account self-service, so really for B2B businesses. But of course, we have many examples of beautiful sites doing direct to consumer, some of which are using the BigCommerce stencil theming engine, others using their own content management system that they've integrated in a headless capacity with BigCommerce. And then here, Van Cafe, this is an Acumatica customer as well. I'm sure there's probably some others here, but off the top of my head, Van Cafe is another great mutual customer of ours with Acumatica. If you look at some of the quotes, you'll see similar information to what I'm talking about here in terms of self-service, easy to use, mix of B2C and B2B, able to easily get product information in a digestible format, as well as personalization and be able to customize products for built to order, such as uplift desk to configure the exact standing desk that you might need for either a consumer or commercial purpose. So as I mentioned, B2B commerce has definitely been an area that we've seen a lot of growth across our customer base. That came through a couple of acquisitions, as well as just an organic growth for us as a platform, and being able to support our customer groups and price lists is really where BigCommerce started with B2B. And then in the acquisition of B2B Ninja, we got the great product team of John, Micah, and others, as well as the quoting functionality and expertise. And then Bundle B2B, which was actually a company that I co-founded, which BigCommerce was selling as a B2B edition for a couple of years prior to acquiring us last year. So now that we really have an all-star B2B core team here, and we feel really good about the product, we've seen really a lot of improvement of our customer satisfaction, as well as more and more B2B customers coming to BigCommerce for account self-service, whether those manufacturers or distributors or retailers that have grown to the point where they're now opening up commercial divisions. So when we look at B2B e-commerce, whether that's as a partner of ours and enabling, our APIs to extend into something like a mobile application or punch out catalogs, or whether that's, one of our merchants buyers is going to the site and being able to work with their sales rep through interactive shopping lists or quoting tools. We really look at the B2B buying experience not only as just what's happening on the website or even in the field. It's the marriage of both of those things. Omnichannel applies to B2B in the same way it could apply to B2C. So I really like this slide that kind of shows all of these different components of commerce, really, and how B2B edition can support some of that. I'll be showing you in the demo. So some of the highlights on BigCommerce B2B edition, and many of these, or actually I should say, the corporate account management feature really is the foundation of what a B2B experience is centered around online, because that's the corporate buyer. That would map to what we call a customer in Acumatica. So once you have built that corporate persona and you've added different users, you associate price, all of that great stuff, you can then allow sales reps to go and masquerade on behalf of those different companies, create shared shopping lists, proceed into checkouts with bespoke payment methods for net terms for customers, viewing invoices, account balances, or even whether I'm a returning B2B buyer looking for a better price, I'd like to request a quote, or someone that's just found a merchant stumbled across a site on the internet while I'm searching for a product, maybe because where I normally order is not available. I can then go ask for a quote, even as a guest shopper, in which a B2B business can go have a sales rep follow up and create an account and start selling and acquiring that new customer. And then, of course, supporting reordering and the acquisition of new B2B clients, as I talked about, through the online account application. So before I get to the demo, I really just wanted to highlight this slide here, which I think sets the stage. And actually, I might be sort of the middle to the end of the demo, because you'll be hearing from multiple folks here. But looking at this slide, really what we're talking about is being able to connect your front end and your back end, right? At the very basic, with BigCommerce here on the right, Acumatica on the left, and all of this awesome data in between that we exchange, right? Whether that's setting up new B2B accounts, processing orders, creating shipments, invoices, setting up different payment methods, allocating inventory, multi-warehouse, all the things that you might need to do to fulfill orders, whether that's from one location or multiple, or for one buyer, many buyers ordering within a company. We have a very awesome system to show you today, and I'm excited to get into some of the details here. So I believe I'll be passing it off to one of the Acumatica team members here to show some of the back-end Acumatica processes, and then it'll be coming back over to me, where I'll be sort of demonstrating the front end with BigCommerce and how we can process orders and repeat orders.
Thank you, Alex. I'm Sumali here. I will share my screen now. Hi, Francis. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you, Francis. Okay, this is as Alex mentioned, this is system in the back end of Acumatica. In Acumatica Cloud ERP will help you to identify and classify product and item in the B2B business. In the back end will help you manage, produce your product in your factory or in your company, and you will able to check and manage stock available to serve your customer needs in your B2B process. Okay, firstly, I will take you to inventory, how to set up your item. In Acumatica, we have workspace, it called inventory and stock item. In stock item, you can create and manage your item for finished good or raw material, and you can set up your product good. For example, here as apple jam, you can set up it as your item, or this is your stock item, is your product or your raw material or your component kit. You can identify it in our Acumatica. Here you can set up as a stock method like average FIFO. You can set up at the unit measurement. Okay, you can check on the price cost related to manufacturing. Okay, with how you want to store your item. Okay, if your item is a raw material, need to supply to your factory, you can create vendor. Okay, the example that you can manage your stock item as a finished good and raw material. And in Acumatica, in case if you are manufacturing as a B2B, you can do like a production order to create your product. For example, here we have apple juice for you, like apple juice egg on, and then I create here production order as a 300 button. Okay, I can create if I check on stock available, if I check on the demand from BigCommerce from the B2B website, and then on my stock level. Okay, in case if I need to produce my apple juice, okay, I can create directly production order in Acumatica account ERP. And then after I finish produce, I do the production order move to inventory, and then I can check inventory and report to the sales department or store that I have stock available for apple juice, ready demand, ready to support to the customer. I can check here in Acumatica Cloud ERP if I have my production ready. For example, here you can see that production in inventory already received 200, 500 and 1000. This is already produced in the manufacturing. And then inventory summary here now is total 1405 button is that ready to supply to the B2B customer. Okay, this is how Acumatica backend support B2B business process. Thank you. I will transfer my section to Francis to continue with the BigCommerce.
Thank you, Somali. So after you produce your products or goods in your B2B landscape, you now need to go to your other part, which is selling your product. So before you sell your product with BigCommerce, you need to integrate with the two systems from Acumatica to BigCommerce. So with that, I will tell you how to integrate Acumatica and BigCommerce using the native integrator of Acumatica with BigCommerce. So I'll share my screen. So can you now see my screen?
Yeah,
Somali,
we
can you
see
see my screen?
Acumatica.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
see
see
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Tarzan. Thank you, Somali. So for that connector, what you need to do is first you need to enable your BigCommerce connector, which will define all of your setup from workspace to setting up the entities to scheduling or doing on-demand seats. So first, if you enable the BigCommerce connector, you will have your commerce workspace, which when you go inside it, will give you this set of screens wherein the usual homepage is a dashboard, which is the commerce sync monitoring, which will show you an overview of what is happening in your business, in your B2B business, what orders were made, what are for processing from Acumatica, syncing to BigCommerce, and all the information that you need to know. And you can even customize this because this is very customizable because this is the standard dashboard of Acumatica that you always see when you log in your backend system, ERP. So after going to the dashboard, you need now to go to the BigCommerce stores, which is this screen. So for the BigCommerce stores, here you will define all the information regarding your BigCommerce web page, your application path, the tokens and IDs that are needed to sync all of your data from Acumatica to BigCommerce. And then you also need to enable all the entities that you want to sync. So for this case, we need to sync the customer price class to define pricing depending on the class of our customers. We need to also sync our customers, which is our B2B companies inside BigCommerce, and all of those contacts will be synced as individual users of that company. We also sync customer location. We also sync sales categories for sales in the BigCommerce end. So all the item sales will be categorized using this one. We will also need to sync our items, base sales prices, pricing, even product images. So whatever you import in Acumatica will be sent to BigCommerce. So you will have a seamless integration with no hard integration part of syncing the data, even the images. You can also real-time sync your product availability. What you produce, you can set to be sold in BigCommerce. So you will also do transaction part, which is the syncing of orders, shipments, and payments. So you can also define the customer settings. The important thing here is to enable the B2B connector and the sync contact for BigCommerce B2B edition. These are needed to define any B2B customer as a B2B company in BigCommerce. You will also define some inventory settings, which the notable part here is the default availability, which is set as available track quantity, so that all your items from stock items in Acumatica will be synced to BigCommerce in real time. You need to also define how you process orders from BigCommerce to Acumatica, and also define some shipping methods and even the payment methods of those customers. So after you create this information in your BigCommerce store, you can define your system. You have your item sales categories, which you need to define all the items that you want to sell. These are the categories that you will see later on the BigCommerce. And under food items, we will focus on the apple jams that Sumali mentioned a while ago and other items that we have seen already and added here in the sales. And inside each stock item, you need to define all the necessary data, the pricing, the warehouses, which it is called, and even the sales prices of those items. And for the customers, for example, we have Rusty's, you need to define the address. And you need to tick this is B2B company because this is the trigger point that this customer inside Acumatica is a B2B company in BigCommerce. You can also define several locations if you have multiple branches for this customer. And you need to define your contacts. Who are the users of the company in the BigCommerce? For example, Easy Rusty. For this contact, for each contact that you want to sync to BigCommerce, you need to enable the B2B edition yes in the contact so that they will be synced. And after that, you can now go to the preparation of the data. So the entities that we enabled will be shown here, which you can process on demand or via schedule. And after that, you can process the data. Whatever shows here can be synced already from Acumatica to BigCommerce. And if you enable this in syncing automatically, you will see this automation schedule history, which shows you all the processing that are running in the back end so that you will not need to check whatever is synced because everything is already handled automatically. So now we will go to the BigCommerce to show you how Rusty, as our Acumatica company, process their transactions in BigCommerce. So I'll share the floor with Alec for the BigCommerce. Thank you.
All right, back over to me. Okay, can we see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So I'm logged into the back end of BigCommerce here. As you can see, we're inside of B2B edition, where I can see the different companies that we've set up. This would map to the customers in Acumatica. So I'll log in as this customer that Francis created, Rusty Supermarket. I can see the price list that has been assigned, consistent with the Acumatica sync. I can also see the different users that belong to this company. These will be the different buyers or accounts that I'll log into when I get to the front end. I can see super admins. So this could be like a sales rep that can go and masquerade on behalf of this company. It's a different type of buyer role. I can see the different payment methods that have been enabled for this company, as well as the address. So really just looks like a shell of the customer record with really just the required data to power that e-commerce experience, right? So now I'll go ahead and I'll jump over to the front end. I'm now logged in as one of those contacts, this particular contact here. The first thing that you'll notice is I can see all of the past orders. I can filter order history by date range if I would like. I can search for all orders by keyword as well, or I could one-click reorder or add an order into a shopping list. So as an example, if I want to take order 338 and put this into a shopping list, I can go create a new list. And then all of those items from that order will be added into a list. Alternatively, if I wanted to go ahead and reorder, with the click of a button, I can then go and repopulate a shopping cart now with 175 items. Now, just to show you as an example, inside that shopping list, I can see this new list that I just created. And it has all these items associated. And now I can see the prices associated with these items, of course, based off that B2B price class. I can also add new items to the list. So if I wanted to add a new item here from the catalog, I can go and find, looks like there's multiple different Coca-Cola items here that I can go and add these into the list. And then once all these items are in my list, if I would like, and even if I have a lot of items in the list, I can still search. But say I want to go add all of these, now I can add them into my cart. Now I have 352 items in my cart. So pretty quickly, I can start building up that cart. Another tool for ordering in bulk is the buy again feature. So I can see, again, all these products that have been ordered in the past. If I want to search for this particular product, I can go and look for just like the apple, and I can find that. Say I can add another 25 of these into my cart, or again, alternatively, the shopping list. I'll go ahead and add these to my cart. Or if I just want to search through recently ordered, this button here for add all to cart is very useful. If I want to go and add, say, 5 of these items, 25 of these items, and adding those into the cart. So that's not really the only way. Those are just all of the ways within B2B Edition. Now, within just like a standard sort of B2C store, I can still go shop a catalog. So if I want to go click into a category, I can see all of these items here in the category of food. I can also sort them in a list if I would like to see this way. But I'll go ahead and stay in the grid view. You'll also notice that this stock is consistent with the inventory syncs in Acumatica. We have, again, close to real time, I believe. It's every couple of minutes this will sync up on a job for you. So again, I can go and add items to the cart this way. You'll even notice that within this particular theme, the Camden B2B theme, I have the ability to add SKUs to cart from here. So if I want to go and take this, take any SKU, if I just know the SKU number, I can go and add products this way as well into the cart. So let's go ahead and jump back over to my account. I have 1 or 2 more features to show you before I go proceed to checkout. So the user management feature here, if I want to add new users, they'll get a company welcome email. Those emails, of course, will say, hey, you've just been added to Rusty's Supermarket. Go ahead and set your password. And then once I've done that, I'll go ahead and I will see this whole account, same view that these other users would see, depending on the role. So we have 3 different roles here, admin, senior, and junior for various permissions. Junior buyers being those who require purchase approval to actually proceed to checkout. All right, I will go ahead and now jump into the quote functionality. So if I wanted to go and say, click into this apple jam, and instead of adding this directly into my cart, I want to add 150 of these into a quote. I can go ahead and do that, and now I can view my quote. If I want to search or add more products into my quote, I can. As you can see, based off of my company login, I've already auto-filled some information. I can add a quote title, new quote. The reference number is optional. And then I can add a message. Now again, this can be done as a logged in user or a guest user. I can also attach a file if I have, say, like a design or some sort of like logo that I want to add to a product for a business. Now I can go and submit that quote, and there's a hyperlink that exists here with the specific quote ID. Now this quote, if I want to jump back over here, I can actually go and review this. Now there's sales rep roles inside of BigCommerce to go, and if I wanted to edit items in this quote, as you can see the stock here. I can add notes. If I wanted to go ahead and provide that discount, I could change the price from 4 to 3. I can also change currency here as well, depending on the currency setup inside of BigCommerce. I can add custom products or create new custom products, or search for more products as an example within the catalog. So if I wanted to go and add a new product to the quote on the fly, I could go ahead and do that. Say I'll add another 100 of these. And then I could go ahead and submit. I could send an email notification now, and then you'll see the proceed to checkout with the quote, or I could send that later. Now jumping back over to the front end, if I jump into the quotes, I can see this quote here. I can view it or check out. And that's how you can convert a quote into an order. You just go straight to checkout, and it'll take me with the quoted prices. Now I'll jump into the shopping cart here, and I'm going to go ahead and check out. Now this is just going to take me straight into the optimized one-page checkout. I can of course see the shipping address based off what's available on those locations in Acumatica, set up my shipping method. These can be set up in BigCommerce or again integrated with a third-party shipping tool to populate those methods and rates. And then finally, I'll get to the payment stage where I can decide to pay via bank transfer and enter a purchase order number, or I could pay via credit card. You can have any number of payment gateways, any number of payment methods, as well as you can integrate with any number of gateways that are supported by BigCommerce. In this case, I'll just go ahead and place the order, key in a purchase order number, and there you have it. Now, once that order has been processed in Acumatica, I'll just quickly show you the invoice screen here. So I can see the different invoices that have been generated from those orders. I can see invoice number and order number here. So if I wanted to come in and take a look at this invoice that was generated against one of the previous orders, I can then go and make a payment against that in BigCommerce, or it could be paid on the Acumatica side if their payment was received outside of the web and logged in BigCommerce, where you'll see the payment received here. If I want to go and pay this now, again, I can see the running open balance. I don't have to pay the whole amount. I could pay a partial amount, and then I can go and process that payment. Now that's a really quick demo, but hopefully very, very useful to show, cart to order, quote to order, order to invoice, adding different users, and more efficiently placing orders as a whole, which of course is important for B2B, with many returning customers wanting to create carts very fast so they can go on with their day. Thank you very much, and I'll pass it on to Acumatica.
Thank you, Alec. I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah, we see it.
Thank you. So I'm Marvin. So I'm going to show you how the transactions that was shown by Alec will be reflected in Acumatica. So I'm going to start with my dashboard. If I'm monitoring on a daily basis, what are my open BigCommerce orders, or what are the completed BigCommerce orders? So I'm going to click on that. So here, the latest orders that was created was the 776. So if I'm going to open that, you will see there, these are the items that were placed in order in the BigCommerce. And also the addresses here are also updated based on the address that you have selected in the BigCommerce. Same thing with the discounts. If you have a specific discounts for these customers, it will also be reflected here. So for me to complete the transactions, that would be to confirm the shipment and create the invoice. So I'm going to do a quick process. So in the quick process, transactions that will be created will be the shipment. Next, the inventory update, and then the invoice. So I wanted to add also here that the notes created in the BigCommerce will also be reflected here. So once done with the shipment, so you will be able to see here the invoice that was created. With the accounting transactions posted like this. Same thing with the inventory. update. Movements of goods is also reflected here, but also the corresponding journal entry right here. And if I wanted to check the movement of the inventory, like for example, this apple jam, as you can see here, this is the related sales order where this inventory movement was created. So with that, I'm going to pass it on back to Thorsten for Q&A. So thank you.
Thank you, Marvin, and thank you, everybody. Sumali, Francis, Alec, Shine, thank you very much for presenting it. So I still have a couple of things that I want to talk about it, but as a reminder, if you have any questions to anything that you saw today, or to these two solutions and the integrations, please put this into the Q&A box, and we are happy to answer it. So let me share my screen again, and maybe somebody can then let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
So Alex showed this slide before, and this is a little bit a summary of what you saw now, right? For me, the main takeaway watching this was this looks like one. You have the front end and you have a back end, and yes, these are two different software solutions. But whatever Alec did, or what Francis and Sumali did initially, was immediately in BigCommerce and everything. So the description, the stock levels that you saw, the pricing, and this is B2B, the customer specific pricing that you can define there, payment terms, everything is automatically synced back. And then Alec did an order, and there you saw again, it's immediately back in Acumatica. You can do your shipment, you can do your invoicing to the customer, and then follow your normal AR process to collect the payment, or let them pay in BigCommerce again. So it is one solution, and this is what we wanted to show in this slide too that Alex showed before. It's one, and this, I think, it's the important part of it, and this is why I said initially when we started, it's easy to sell online today for every company out there in using these combined solutions and these fully integrated solutions. So what it all is about, I'm coming back to Q&A in a minute. What it's all about is we want you as a customer to help you to grow your revenue, to give you an additional revenue stream to grow, and which means to increase your profit margins that are in e-commerce traditionally B2C not very big. But on the B2B side, it is the same what you are doing today. You just make it much, much easier for your existing customers to order from you and to work with you and to see stock levels. Is it available or not? They don't have to send you emails anymore and ask or call your sales rep, which definitely will increase your customer retention, which we are all looking for, right? And this includes us too for Acumatica or BigCommerce. To definitely improve this. And you are where the buyers are. One of the main questions I get asked from prospects or customers since COVID is, how can I get closer to my customers? This is it, right? They, wherever they are, they can order from you. They can place the orders as Alex showed it there before, which means you definitely will improve your business processes too, and you should achieve a much, much higher customer satisfaction because the processes are so optimized, as you just saw it, how quick this all worked. So no worries, I'm not going through all of these. What I want to show with this slide and with the next one is whatever your business is, whatever you maybe additional requirements you have. For example, you are not selling the Apple Jam, you are selling equipment. And you need to do an installation after sales, so maybe have to provide maintenance and things like this. We have field service and project management, which is totally integrated in the solutions that you saw now, beside manufacturing, distribution, what we showed there before. CRM, customer support, purchasing functionality for your items if you are not manufacturing them all, but or purchasing of raw material, but purchasing of items so that you want to resell. So these functionalities are available as well. And here's another overview in a little bit more detail. And like I said, I'm not going through this all in very detail, but omni-channel support is possible. If you have still brick and mortar stores too, where you sell parallel, so you can integrate the POS into the solution as well. In short, speaking about the picture on the right, because one of my favorite Acumatica customers globally, they are manufacturing surfboards, as you see. They are headquartered, I think, in the US, but their factory is in Thailand, and this is why I like them, just outside of Bangkok, and I visited them a couple of times. So I met these guys in person that you see there on your screen, and they too are very happy in manufacturing their sales. In the end, their surfboards in Thailand and selling them online everywhere in the world, using this integrated solutions that we have there. So my final slide is not Acumatica, it's not BigCommerce. It's a little bit, if you are a customer and if you are new to B2B online sales, to give you a little bit advice on what to look for and what to look after in developing this. And I'm using this article from Harvard Business Review, and you see the link on your slide on the slide here before, but you can Google it too, and then you will see it. And they are giving 5 points. They think it's very important if you want to build it. You have to be very customer centric. As you saw it in Alex's presentation, he was the supermarket, right? And this is what B2B is about. Every of your customer logs into BigCommerce, and BigCommerce know it is this customer. It is these payment terms that the customer has. It is these locations where the shipments are done to. So you are really close to the customer without talking with them, but without providing all this solution during their order process already. Number two is a holistic approach. So they need to have the same experience everywhere. If your sales rep is visiting them, if they are ordering online via BigCommerce, or if they are maybe calling your customer service, they should have the same experience in all of these different ways on communicating with you. And this has nothing to do with software at all. But think about if you plan to build a B2B business, what happens to your existing distributors, for example? Do you start competing with them now? How will they feel about it? So you need to develop a strategy to try not to affect your existing business with doing it. So to think about it there. And then number four, and this is what you just saw, I think, during the webinar today, it has to be digitally enabled sales and marketing to really make this work and to make it quick work. And I think everybody on the call, you know, too, even if I order something online, I still expect to get it yesterday, right? So speed in your business process is extremely important to provide. And last but not least is to be agile in cross-functional collaboration, which is in your organization. There's sales, there is, we saw the different things. So we saw manufacturing, we saw provisioning the data to BigCommerce, what Francis did. So then we have sales, and then we have marketing, and then we have the warehouse who has to do the shipments and bringing it out, and then we have finance who has to issue the invoice and to control your profit and loss and everything. And this all has to be so integrated that they are working seamlessly with each other. There. So this just as an additional advice, think about it. If you are not B2B today and you are planning to go B2B, these are the things to look after. So with this, thank you very much for joining us today. So you see here two contact persons. So one is Macy. Macy is from BigCommerce and responsible for the APAC business here. So if you would like to know more about the BigCommerce solution, you can contact Alec, but Alec is in the US, so we have a little bit, he knows everything, but the time difference issue. So Macy is here now, based in Australia, in Sydney, and she is happy to help with whatever questions you have, no matter if you are a partner or an end customer, feel free to reach out. And if you want to know anything more about Acumatica itself, reach out to me. So you see my email address here as well on the screen, and I'm happy to connect you with the right person to do the next step and to move forward from there. So, okay, so thank you very much again for joining. I'm just checking now if there are any questions, but I don't think there are any at the moment. So we are exactly on time, so that looks good too. So again, thank you very much, and Alec, very special thank you to you to stay up there late and doing it for us today here. Thank you, Shine, Francis, Marvin, and Sumali for helping with the presentation. And like I said, if anybody has any questions, reach out to me or reach out to Macy, as you see it on your screen now, and we are happy to answer whatever questions you have. Thank you very much for joining us today, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks all.